In a wide-ranging interview with the Athletics' Patrick Mooney, agent Scott Boras complimented Cubs president Jed Hoyer for signing Cody Bellinger and left the door open for Bellinger to remain a Cub, whether that meant signing an extension or after hitting free agency. Boras said, quote, you listen as far as they control the own until the end of the season. Of course, you look at it, but there aren't many center fielders that are five-tool players who are 27 years of age. Bellinger's been out since May 15th. His contract situation similar or different to Marcus Stroman.
I was surprised that Scott Boras gave Patrick Mooney that much time. It says that how much respect he probably has for Patrick, and I think that's a good sign. Boras can talk and talk and talk. We know that. He's right about Bellinger. You take him out of the Cubs lineup, he's a former MVP. You're going to miss him, and he does have some value, and he's already proven what he could possibly be worth. I don't think that what he said, anything he said, makes me feel one way or another about what the Cubs are going to do. I think you want to see what he's like when he gets back. They have to keep the door open both ways. I think Marcus Stroman is a higher priority than Cody Bellinger. I think he's got to be because he's an ace, and he's pitching like one. You have two guys who could be trade pieces as we get nearer the deadline. The deadline's still, almost 2 months, just under 2 months away. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. The next 6 weeks, okay, we'll have all kinds of speculation and time for that. Right now, Scott Boras is saying the right things because he's very skilled at doing so. But I would prioritize Stroman over Bellinger, even though in a perfect world, ideally for Cubs fans, Bellinger comes back and regains the form he showed in April. You lock him up maybe for another couple years, and you get the Stro Show returning to Chicago for the next several. So that would be, if you are in a position to say you want to do that, that means you have started to turn the season around, and that would be a good thing.
I need to see more Cody Bellinger. I need to see him get back. I need to see him get healthy before I can determine if he or Stroman should be the priority. The problem with Stroman is age, right? That's what's hurting him. I mean, listen, fall in love with it. He's the National League Player of the Week, walks the walk, talks the talk. If you're into that kind of thing, it's great. But I don't know that you want to be signing 4 or 5 years, $125 million for a guy of his age. But let's see. I like that Boras was leaving the door open, not like, well, we'll hit free agency and we'll see what happens. So that seemed to be a bit of good news.
I always have problems with stories with agents. I know that Boras is different, but he usually kind of rehearses everything he has to say and gives you, the punt patrol. I don't know. I just think that the problem is that he is a representative of the player, and he is obviously he makes a proportion. See what I'm saying? You're never going to find out the truth. Well, you know what? I mean, this knee thing has us worried. I hope they sign him in the next week because this could be.
Well, he's not going to say that.
That's my point.
Say that.
I'm just saying it's difficult to get, have an agent tell you anything negative about a player, and you got to be aware of that. But Boras. You get Boras on the phone, he's money. I mean, he talks a great game. I'm with you, Dustin. I got to see Bellinger get back and be as good as he was, and make sure that all the little issues are fixed. And the two contract situations are nothing alike, because one guy's a pitcher, and one guy is a position player.
Well, they're alike in the fact that they're both expiring.
Well, that's totally true.
And you're going to have to make a decision on each guy.
I totally understand that, but I don't know that there's enough evidence with the outfielder. I don't know that I have seen enough.
We'll get back
to
this because I think you could almost argue there's more evidence given his career with Cody Bellinger, a former MVP.
I'm not sure.
Stroman.
Well, I'm not sure
at his age.
Well, this is the problem. Guys bounce around a lot.
Conundrum.
If there was some sort of a bargain involved in this, then yes, sign them.
Cubby conundrum.
I don't think either guy is settling for less than they're worth.